The Awakening of the Chosen. There are moments on the spiritual development road when we could feel alone, as if we are not like the others around us. If you have ever had this feeling, it can be a sign that you are in for something more than your typical day. Perhaps this sensation is an appeal to a higher mission, a profound calling rather than just curiosity or restlessness. Now is the time to investigate the indications that we could be among the chosen. These indications are not coincidental. Rather, they suggest a closer relationship with the divine that transcends the realm of everyday human experience. These indications often take the shape of a unique energy or vibration that rises you to a higher level of awareness and purpose by changing your perspective and inspiring you to reflect on ordinary life. You could have seen increased emotional intensity or heightened awareness of the world around you, all of which are signs that you have been given a higher mission. To completely embrace your special position within this divine design, you may need to first recognize and comprehend these details. Accepting your part in something much greater is more important than just growing spiritually. Your spiritual awakening is a whispering precursor to a meaningful and purposeful existence, not a coincidence. Knowing this allows you to stand out from the crowd with a clarity that comes from being in harmony with the divine. Your spirit is telling you to accept a tremendous destiny as one of the chosen via these signals that we're talking about today. Recognizing our inner calling is an invitation to become more completely aligned with the divine, which enables us to reach our full potential as we share our journey with others. We are all on a journey. The sense of being called to something bigger often shows itself in subtle but potent ways along the spiritual path. It's possible that you felt different, as if a barrier between the everyday world and a more wider, enlightened reality needed to be raised. Since it often serves as the precursor to a lovely awakening, this sense of individuality should not be disregarded. These indications are meant to lead, to light the way that leads to a greater comprehension and a closer connection with the divine, not to perplex. This sense of being at a turning point may be your intuition telling you that you are meant to be a key player in the bigger picture. This calling is about realizing and recognizing that you have potential that is just waiting to be discovered and fulfilled, not about separating yourself from other people. Your energy is starting to vibrate at a frequency that will draw in opportunities and experiences that will help you develop spiritually and personally, in addition to other selected souls. Periods of deep contemplation are typical throughout this phase, during which your awareness broadens and you start to see minute connections with the environment, and therefore, with the cosmos. Your perception that all you are and everything you go through is a part of a bigger picture, a tapestry in which every detail is perfectly harmonious, is shaped by the emergence of inner knowledge. Understanding these indicators is a sign of a personal ascension, when you start to see that you are not only experiencing life on Earth, but are instead a vital component of a lovingly and precisely choreographed cosmic dance. You come to see that embracing this calling has the power to change everything and create a life that is full of meaning, purpose, and most importantly, a beautiful feeling of completeness and serenity. Being one of the chosen is ultimately more than simply an identity. It is a gift and a duty that, when accepted with an open heart and an open spirit, leads to a fluid existence with the divine, enhancing your life and changing the universe to fit your needs, in a significant and lasting manner. By acknowledging and embracing this calling, you set yourself up for an incredible life in which every step is a chance for development and every interaction presents a chance for change. Being a part of this journey as one of the chosen means accepting the truth of who you are and letting every aspect of who you are show through fearlessly. The true magic starts to happen when you embrace this calling. Suddenly, life appears to have a new purpose, and the sense of stagnation fades away to be replaced with energy and an unquenchable need for knowledge and understanding. You will come to understand that you are not alone as you explore this experience more. Other travelers who have heard the call and are trying to live their lives in accordance with their assigned purpose will likewise be inexorably pulled to your route. Mutual assistance and information sharing become crucial on this path with other chosen ones. It is a communion of souls dedicated to uplifting humanity's collective vibration and assisting everyone in reaching a higher awakening. Your life will reflect the harmony. Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with the Path of the Chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. Between your inner self and the outside world, as you firmly establish this new awareness. His journey enlightens others, inspiring people who struggle to see their own potential. You become a light of inspiration and change, joining people who are dedicated to living wisely. As we work to comprehend and realize our full potential, this whole process teaches us that genuine power comes from recognizing who we really are. You learn not only what it means to be one of the chosen, but also what it means to be human in the most profound and all-encompassing sense throughout this never-ending cycle of learning and development. This is a moment to reflect and connect with other individuals who share the belief that the human experience is a remarkable spiritual tapestry. Your relationship with God deepens as you follow your calling, and you start to see that everything that happens in your life is meant to mold you into the person you are today. Therefore, the invitation to be one of the chosen is a heavenly message that unlocks latent potential and enlightens us to the vast synchronicity that pervades all of creation. This is the strongest call to embrace your inner knowledge and vision, and to dare to live a life that is not only meaningful, but also emits love and light to everyone in your vicinity, changing the course of reality in the direction of the eternally possible. We start to see our place in this enormous cosmos as active producers, rather than as passive spectators, as a result of assimilating this understanding. Being one of the chosen entails serving as a link between the material and spiritual realms, bringing the forces we experience on a daily basis into harmony with the profound spiritual truth that permeates everything. Being in this position enables us to make a difference in other people's lives in ways that we previously thought were impossible. We understand that when guided by the deliberate purpose of light and healing, any action, no matter how minor, can have a remarkable effect. The realization of this summons causes us to awaken and consider our choices, motives, and behaviors in relation to the outside world. The limitless potential for change is what makes being one of the chosen so beautiful. When the enlightened spirit is fully awakened, it becomes the spark that starts the never-ending quest for enlightenment, truth, and love. We go closer to a world where knowledge and compassion triumph over the delusions of division and conflict every time we decide to live in accordance with these higher realities. Our spiritual development on an individual basis has a direct impact on the group, inspiring others to discover their own divine truth. Now is the moment to completely accept your essence and let it grow under the wisdom and love of God. Fortified by the assurance of your purpose, you will start to see the synchronicity and inherent order that structure your life in every instant and every path you choose. When we realize that our lives are connected for a higher reason, and that we are here not just to grow as individuals, but also to improve the entire by transforming ourselves, then is when the magic really unfolds. We accept the privilege and responsibility of leading an authentic life as part of this path of the chosen. We understand that our purpose is to discover what it is to be fully integrated and to move in unison with the cosmos and all living things within it. We must embrace the divine's invitation with love and thanks, continuing on our path to spiritual enlightenment and self-awareness. The divine has already extended the trip. May we always be filled with optimism and the knowledge that, when we work together, we are a lighthouse of boundless potential that can change both our own and the world's course into something really remarkable. It is crucial to keep in mind that spiritual development is a continuous and dynamic process as you go on your journey of awareness and purpose. Doubt and difficulties may arise, but they are an essential part of the process and will help you become more resilient and knowledgeable. Instead of being barriers, these difficulties may be seen as chances to develop and increase your capacity for compassion, love, and patience. Every event, whether good or bad, may be transformed into a lesson that deepens your dedication to your higher purpose if you approach the trip with an open mind and heart. Additionally, mindfulness, also known as aware presence, helps you focus on the here and now and appreciate its beauty. Maintaining a continuous relationship with the divine is made simpler by this practice, which enables you to make inspired choices that are in line with your greatest good and real self. Being one of the chosen makes intuition a potent compass that provides direction and understanding when things are unclear. Every time we let our inner knowledge lead us, our trust in it increases, making connections and working together with others who are also discovering their own spiritual paths is a part of this metamorphosis. Sharing problems, lessons learned, and experiences fosters a thriving network of like-minded individuals, strengthening the sense that you are not alone. The pursuit of enlightenment and significance may be further enhanced and made more fruitful by collectivism. We may achieve a higher level of awareness by cooperating, which unlocks the potential for healing and upliftment in the world as well as in ourselves. You will start to see a shift in how you engage with the world as you incorporate these techniques and insights into your everyday life. Those who come into contact with you will be favorably impacted by your presence, which will create a field of inspiration and tranquility that raises everyone. A rising desire to help others and to foster love and compassion in all encounters are characteristics of this process. Lastly, keep in mind that joining the chosen is a privilege as well as a duty. It is a vocation to consistently live in accordance with your innermost truth while being motivated and true. Although the road might be difficult at times, it is also full of satisfaction and beauty. The actual potential for change and boundless love is revealed in this zone of conscious co-creation, where each step you take toward self-discovery not only improves your own life, but also advances the collective. In order to contribute to a world full of peace, light, and limitless possibilities, may you find the motivation and bravery to completely explore the expanse of your existence as you continue on this path. An important part of the chosen's path is the magnificent occurrence of inner energy transformation. When this metamorphosis occurs, it often feels like a profound vibration that reverberates through all of the body's cells. This new awareness redefines our relationship with universal energy and is not only physical. This experience, like Gabriel's, is a strong calling, a sign that we are being gently led to realign with the divine purpose. Our whole essence goes through a spiritual recalibration, not simply the physical body. We are pushed to embrace the new route that unfolds before us by this lively sensation, which is almost like receiving a surge of pure energy. This phenomena is evidence that those who are spiritually sensitive to change have a higher purpose. We discover that this metamorphosis is an inward rejuvenation of our minds and spirits, rather than only an outward or surface-level alteration when we examine it in the context of Romans 12:12. Our awareness expands in reaction to universal energy, which forces us to transcend the conformity that impedes our actual spiritual development. It's like unlocking a new way of being, where everything that was motionless before starts to move in exquisite harmony with the universe. This spiritual and emotional awakening offers not only fresh perspectives, but also deep understanding of the way forward. Our perceptions of the world, and more significantly, of ourselves within it, are altered by this regeneration. Transformation is a quantum leap in awareness, rather than just a linear evolution. This strengthening of spiritual senses and increase in sensitivity offers up a variety of new opportunities for the chosen. Perceiving the energy and feelings of others around us, in addition to one's own emotional demands, has become possible. This sensation is like switching from a shortwave radio to a high-definition receiver, according to someone I once heard. All of a sudden, everything becomes incredibly clear, and you start to see subtleties that you were previously unaware of. This new understanding connects us to a greater divine purpose by precisely directing us via our wants and intuitions, much like a lighthouse in a sea of ambiguity. Things that were previously unimportant or overlooked start to take on deep significance. Instead of isolating ourselves, this newly acquired insight strengthens and deepens our relationships with others. A greater capacity for empathy enables one to empathize with others and establish a connection based on sincere understanding and compassion. We may better assist others and answer the urge to participate in social change by developing deeper connections with others. It is our duty to behave in line with this insight after we have attained this degree of sensitivity. We are now walking this road not only for ourselves, but also for the benefit of others and the environment. For the chosen, finding meaning is a cosmic team effort, rather than only an individual quest. We must impart this information that has been stored in us, assisting others in discovering their own transformational pathways. This common path generates networks of good energy that go beyond ourselves and have an influence on everyone we come into contact with. We share the light that now shines brightest inside ourselves, and we inspire others. It's critical for spiritual mentors and guides to be humble and respectful of others' spiritual paths. This powerful metamorphosis is both a blessing and a pleasure, serving as a continual reminder of our enduring potential. We are always inspired to seek a meaningful and purposeful life, acknowledging the divine link that keeps us alive while we go through this metamorphosis. The first step on a path that only becomes longer and longer in a never-ending circle of love and learning is inner change. The chosen's change of inner energy is a sign of their dedication to ongoing spiritual growth and development. As we change not only our own lives but also the world around us, may we always be willing to embrace this change and go bravely and resolutely. Because it forces us to explore new areas both within and outside of ourselves. This process is both exciting and difficult. Inner energy development asks us to break down the walls we have accumulated throughout time at every step of this path. These obstacles are often created by limiting ideas, anxieties, and conditioned thinking that have ingrained us in outdated habits. As this energy becomes stronger, it illuminates these shadows and provides the chance to rise beyond the constraints that keep us back. As we release ourselves from these constraints, we start to notice a new alignment, both within ourselves and with the cosmos. At this pivotal point, we see that our energy is not separate from the constant, interrelated flow that keeps everything alive. Every decision we make seems to have an impact on and be impacted by this enormous ocean of energy. This idea emphasizes how crucial it is to live intentionally and mindfully, since everything we do has an impact that extends much beyond ourselves. But this understanding also carries a duty. We become stewards of knowledge that must be utilized prudently by gaining access to this higher level of awareness. Being in a continuous state of growth, where we are always learning and developing, is more important than ever achieving a final level of enlightenment. This continuous change serves as a reminder that genuine mastery is the capacity to maintain an open mind, be sensitive to new information, and be humble and appreciative of every lesson life has to teach. Understanding that inner energy development does not confine us to a solitary realm of personal spirituality is equally crucial. Conversely, it allows us to become more fully integrated with the whole of spiritual and human experience. We are dynamic creatures with the capacity to positively influence other people's lives in addition to changing ourselves. By lighting their journeys in the same manner that ours has been lighted, we may have a good influence on our surroundings and every soul with whom we come into contact, thanks to this increased spiritual presence. Beyond the boundaries of our own lives, this energy exchange produces a fluid network of solidarity and support, where each of us contributes to the larger good. This network of energy and experiences binds us all together. By completely embracing this energy shift, we not only achieve our own goals, but also join the group effort to raise the planet's awareness. This fosters an atmosphere in which love, compassion, and understanding are experienced on a daily basis and are not only idealistic concepts. Therefore, it is important that we remember to encourage and support one another as we go further into this metamorphosis. It is a celebration of the unity and beauty of variety via a communal dance of energy. May we continue to welcome this change with appreciation, understanding that every action we do on this journey directly contributes to the continuous development of human awareness and our own spiritual journey. By doing this, we not only change ourselves but also help create a more peaceful world that is in harmony with the universal vibrations of light and love. We learn to accept our authenticity via this ongoing and fulfilling process of inner energy development. As we progress, we start to appreciate our vulnerability and see the power that comes from accepting it. Regaining our true selves after shedding the masks and pretenses we often wear is what beauty is all about. We become more aware of our true selves as we remove these layers, enabling us to live more openly and confidently. Changing is just one aspect of transformation. Another is going back to our fundamental selves before being influenced by the outside forces of the world. Simultaneously, this change gives us more compassion and understanding for other people. We start to see the world with love and compassion when we become receptive to this inner energy and let it flow freely. As we learn to cherish genuine connections, our relationships become deeper and more meaningful. In essence, this spiritual development is a path of love, both love for oneself and love for others. We encourage those around us to pursue and welcome their own changes when we radiate this enthusiasm. Our intuition also becomes stronger the more we connect with this inner energy. We start to put greater faith in our inner wisdom and let it lead us when we're unsure or need to make decisions. This inner voice, which may have been suppressed or disregarded, comes back with power and clarity, providing insightful counsel that is profoundly in line with our own reality. Among the many benefits of energy change is the ability to pay attention and heed this advice. With time, we come to see that, away from the cacophony of outside demands, we are leading a life that is more in line with our beliefs and our actual purpose. As we go through this metamorphosis, we are constantly urged to live as models of harmony between our inner selves and the needs of the outside world. It takes guts and resistance to choose and pursue our own path in a society when so many voices attempt to tell us who we should be. Additionally, by directing our own course, we contribute to the development of a strong and genuine role model for others. By encouraging people to take the initiative and go on their own transformational journeys, we spark a wave of personal development and societal enlightenment. Lastly, we must never lose sight of the fact that this metamorphosis is as much about the journey as the final goal. Every second and every step matters. We will experience highs and lows, periods of uncertainty and insight, but it is by these experiences that we really develop. Every encounter teaches us something new and equips us to reach our full potential and serve more completely. Knowing that the road is just as important as the goal, may we continue to patiently and joyfully foster this energy shift. We uncover the real meaning of spirituality and the boundless potential of the soul in the continuous dance of metamorphosis and rebirth. The Chosen's profound empathy is a talent that transcends simple comprehension and allows for a spiritual connection that reaches someone's core. Feelings of happiness and sorrow blend together in this connection, which is almost like a dance between souls, causing us to see other people's emotions as our own when we are in this higher state of being. This innate sensitivity, which both highlights the richness of human connection and pushes us to maintain emotional equilibrium, is shown in the capacity to fully feel another person's anguish or to revel in their accomplishments. Gaining this empathy may be a blessing and a challenge. Being really present to others around us and providing them with understanding and support is the duty it carries. We must exercise judgment and take care of ourselves, since this emotional openness makes us vulnerable. We must learn to safeguard and nourish our own soul while striking a balance between giving and receiving if we want to be a conduit of love and compassion for others. In addition to reminding us of the value of sharing our responsibilities, Galatians 6:2 exhorts us to treat ourselves with kindness and justice. The empathy that we develop as chosen ones ought to be seen as a powerful energy, akin to the divine empathy that Christ personified. He demonstrated to us how having a strong sense of empathy for others allows us to radiate love and compassion to everyone we come into contact with. Since we are all bound together by an unseen thread of understanding and solidarity, this empathy should not be seen as a sign of emotional isolation, but rather as a chance to discover and forge connection. Being able to use our sensitivities as healing vessels to uplift other people's spirits is one of the most important parts of this gift. The continual reminder that our purpose is to carry this light inside ourselves and share it with the world comes from having a strong spiritual connection. Christ's life and ministry demonstrate that his empathy extended beyond just bearing sorrows. It also included turning them into opportunities for love and service. We are thus asked to be continual lights of hope, peace, and light in our own lives, reflecting this divine mercy. However, in order to continue our spiritual path without burning out, we must actively take care of ourselves as we give ourselves to others. The chosen must have the ability to discern when it's time to take a break and replenish their own spiritual reserves. This acknowledges that we cannot serve from an empty cup, which is a sign of wisdom rather than weakness. Fundamental methods for reviving our spirits and preserving a positive relationship with ourselves include introspection, meditation, and communication with the divine. Giving is a crucial component of the empathy cycle, but so are receiving and renewing. We are able to maintain our affection and support without succumbing to emotional tiredness because of this equilibrium. In order to continue walking the road with grace and power, spiritual sensitivity encourages us to stay watchful along the way. Since it teaches us that genuine achievement rests in boosting the collective authentic empathy, undermines the conventional view of success as individual. The chosen are continuously educated to hear, comprehend, and react to the calling of their souls, as well as the souls of people around them, because of this unique link. Every instance of sincere compassion in this never-ending dance enhances the vibration of all those involved, reinforcing the web of love that binds us to the cosmos and to one another. We are continually challenged to broaden our hearts and brains by this spiritual and sympathetic journey. We become more human and conscious of the intricacies and beauty of the human experience as we confront the joys and sufferings of individuals we interact with. We learn from this close relationship that being a chosen involves both inward growth and service. One of the most important aspects of the mission we accept is the personal growth that takes place when we react to the needs of others with love and compassion. Every deed of generosity and every quiet moment of encouragement adds to a vast tapestry of light that has a good impact on the planet. We are reminded that honesty lies at the heart of our spiritual mission with every new encounter and each challenge. As advisors of the divine light that exists inside each of us, we are here to be authentic. Intention is more important than perfection. It's about presenting ourselves to other travelers as who we really are, without masks, so that others feel comfortable enough to do the same. We make room for genuine healing and togetherness to occur when we let ourselves be seen and see others in their most open, vulnerable, and genuine times. Our spiritual and emotional labor is not alone. It touches lives beyond our comprehension and reverberates in ever-widening circles. As we develop these relationships, we start to understand the deep reality that we are all part of the planet's spiritual development. We are a part of a worldwide movement of spiritual development that is taking place in many cultures and communities. Therefore, we are not alone in our endeavor. It is crucial to develop regular routines of spiritual and personal care in order to support this transition. This might be prayer, meditation, or quiet times of introspection that help us stay re-energized and connected to the divine. Additionally, it helps us stay focused and clear in our daily lives, which helps us continuously recreate the essential balance between our own demands and those of others. The secret to continuing to serve with pleasure and appreciation without abandoning ourselves is understanding and honoring our own boundaries. We must keep in mind that empathy and heightened spiritual connection are ongoing, evolving abilities as we travel this road. It is a voyage of constant learning rather than a final goal. We learn more about the world, other people, and most importantly, ourselves, with every encounter we share. As selected, we continue to be receptive and inquisitive, eager to grow and change daily. Since love, compassion, and understanding are the real forces that move and change the world, we seize every chance to develop them. It is a life devoted to helping others and working for a society in which everyone is able to understand and experience this profound connection. By doing this, we help create a future in which harmony and peace are not just lofty ideas, but actual, palpable realities in each of our lives. May the manifestation of divine love on earth be continuously expanded as we continue to light the path with our inspired presence, enabling the light inside us to shine and awaken the light in others. It takes tenacity and commitment to foster this vision of a more sympathetic and caring society. It is to realize that every action, no matter how little, helps to create a world where mutual aid and solidarity are the norm. We become living examples of how human connection may break down barriers and lead to healing when we behave with empathy. We become change agents when we live this awareness every day, encouraging others to follow in our footsteps and adopt similar mindsets. As decided, we acknowledge that these additional activities support an increasing tide of change and positive. It is our shared duty to utilize our gift of empathy to both elicit this sensitivity in others and to support and uplift people around us. By overcoming barriers of culture, language, and belief, this produces a positive feedback loop in which the energy of love and healing is mirrored and multiplied. It's similar to sowing compassion seeds on fertile ground, with the knowledge that they would eventually grow and cover the whole planet in a colorful tapestry of interconnected people. We are urged to impart our wisdom and experiences to those who are pursuing spiritual development as we sail this course. Our shared experiences may serve as a beacon of light for others, fostering a network of support that is rich in knowledge and resiliency. Sharing knowledge is a great way to stay inspired and motivated, reminding us that no matter how difficult things become, we are never alone. This massive abuse of spiritual and human potential unites us. Keeping a place for self-reflection and personal rejuvenation is equally vital. We have to keep in mind that the energy we give the world is a mirror of the energy we feed ourselves. We may realign our objectives and our being with the larger purpose of our existence by finding times of peace and reflection. We discover the fortitude and clarity needed to go on the path in a sustainable and purposeful way in this area of calm. High connection and empathy, after all, demonstrate that we are a part of the entire. Every encounter, relationship formed, and understanding space made contributes to the vast tapestry of human experience. We help to build a more cohesive world as we recognize and value this connectedness and feed with love and respect. A world in which spirituality is brought to life and given vitality by our deliberate deeds, leading us all to a state of natural happiness and tranquility. Knowing that every stride forward is a step closer to everyone's spiritual awakening, may we all continue to bravely tread this road. As a continual reminder that the higher connection with the other is ultimately a link with the divine inside each of us. May our lives serve as witnesses to the transformative power of empathy. This is the purest form of ourselves, and the real spiritual key that keeps us on our never-ending path of self-discovery and rejuvenation. The Chosen One's dreams are woven into a tapestry of profound meanings, with night visions serving as a guide to your spiritual journey, and each symbol bearing messages from the divine. Sleep, which was often thought of as only a physical rest, is now reinterpreted as a potent means of communication with the outside world. Every dream serves as a window through which holy messages are sent, providing a deep understanding of the desires and obstacles we face. As a customized orientation, these prophetic dreams invite us to see the divine purpose that penetrates every aspect of our lives. These sleep modifications serve as a link between the visible and unseen, reaching far beyond the surface. We are given the opportunity to get a glimpse of the most profound truth that may otherwise be concealed when the curtain between the worlds becomes almost transparent. This phenomena helps us to realize that dreams are an elegant way to communicate directly with the spiritual world, and are not just night illusions. We catch the subtleties of the cosmos and the truths that haven't fully materialized in our everyday lives in this ethereal realm. This process of increased spiritual connection includes waking up at these odd hours, often with an enticing summons to prayer or meditation. These disruptions are not random events. Rather, they are divine invitations to enhance our spiritual presence and reflection. These serve as stimulants that compel us to consider our life, our goals, and the messages the universe is attempting to convey to us via these dreams. Utilizing these times of silence not only helps in our interpretation of the messages we hear, but it also fortifies our spirituality and equips us with the skills we need to face the days ahead. This concept is beautifully emphasized in verse 7 of the 16th Psalm, which presents the picture of a summons that is intrinsic to night contemplation under divine guidance. This psalm serves as a reminder that while evenings seem to bring stillness, they are really a time of ongoing spiritual discussion. We are more open to the whispers of the divine, who lead and counsel us at every turn, while we are in this silence, away from the bustle of the day. Dreams are thus active contributors to our spiritual and emotional development, rather than just inert aspects of our psyche. These night visions also serve as a reminder that our journey is an essential component of God's larger plan, not only a personal one. Dreams provide us with insights that help us link our individual journeys with the global plane, like parts of a much greater jigsaw. They provide us clarity and confidence, which motivates us to go on with a fresh feeling of purpose and resolve. We know deep down that we are guided by force majeure, which constantly gets us ready to play our part in something much more expansive than we can fathom, even when the specifics and implications are not immediately apparent. Thus, the belief that we are continuously led and assisted by powers beyond our comprehension is reaffirmed by this prophetic dream experience and sleep alterations. This nightly conversation, which strengthens our relationship with the divine and gives us a feeling of serenity and assurance, is a hallmark of the path of the chosen ones. Allowing us to receive the messages that appear in our night visions helps us to become more in tune with the will and wisdom of spiritual realms. Therefore, dreams are more than simply dreams. They are also knowledge bridges that allow us to reach the center of the cosmos. Our everyday lives are still being changed by these profound, nightly excursions. They serve as a continual reminder that the world we see is just one aspect of a larger and more fundamental realm, where the material and spiritual worlds interact and influence one another. Our dreams' rich symbolism provides important hints on how to balance these two worlds, which will aid in our development and help us overcome obstacles. By incorporating dream experiences into our everyday lives, we are better able to see connections that we would otherwise miss, providing a more comprehensive understanding of our path through this world. Our ability to interpret these dreams in terms of our personal and societal spiritual development increases with time. We have developed the ability to identify recurring patterns and symbols and understand that they are attempting to convey a significant message about our journey and the decisions we must make. This increased awareness makes it easier for us to apply dream lessons in meaningful and useful ways, enabling their lessons to materialize as brave, loving, and compassionate deeds. Our relationship with the universe is strengthened by this inspired activity, which strengthens the circle of mutual benefit between the cosmos and us. These experiences are exceptional because they serve as a call to action to promote a greater communal awareness, in addition to being beneficial to each of us personally. Our contributions to the larger good are shaped by the insights we take in from our dreams, which inspire us to act with inner stability and knowledge. By disseminating these revelations to our community, we encourage people to go deeper into their dreams and look for the messages they contain. By exchanging experiments, we build a network of mutual support and understanding that increases our ability as a group to make the world a better place. We become more confident in the process of spiritual revelation as a result of sleep changes and prophetic dreams that inspire us to welcome the mystery and quiet that the night provides. We acknowledge that dreams may sometimes provide us with the most lucid guidance and the most compassionate reminders of our actual nature and mission. In accordance with the larger divine design, we actively participate in the co-creation of our destiny when we respect this flow and let Him lead us. Above all, the trip each dream presents to us is an invitation to change and ongoing development. They illuminate what was previously hidden and invite us to go beyond the boundaries of our conscious thought, opening doors to a greater knowledge. This never-ending process of learning and developing via dreams serves as a reminder of the intricate beauty of our spiritual journey. It serves as a reminder that the love and wisdom of the cosmos, which always works to uplift and lead us, are always there for us, even when we are doubting ourselves. Developing a more harmonic balance between our inner and outside worlds is facilitated by accepting this holy connection with the dream realm. Every night offers us the chance to begin again, to delve into the secrets of the spirit, and to awaken in the morning refreshed and prepared to face the world with a fresh outlook and a lighter heart. Knowing that we are not walking alone, and that the stars that light up our dreams also light up our path allows us to follow with assurance. As we all travel our own and profoundly meaningful paths, may we all keep our hearts open to this profound connection and let it lead us with love. Prophetic dreams teach us to pay great attention to both the divine's words and the inner knowledge that these encounters awaken in us. By embracing this gift, we realize that every dream has a load of energy and emotion intended to spur constructive life changes, inspiring us to explore new facets of our existence and uncover inner strengths. This profound internal change has an effect on our relationships, jobs, and communities, in addition to the person. Our everyday problems may be handled more creatively and resiliently when we can move between the conscious and subconscious minds. We start to function from a place of acute intuition, where creative solutions are organic due to our sensitivity to information that defies rationality. By living in this state of tuning, we may develop a life that is more in line with our spiritual principles and exudes integrity and sincerity, inspiring everyone around us. Dream insights also educate us to honor life's inherent rhythm. We are reminded that our spiritual path develops in seasonal norms and phases, just as sleep has its cycles. We learn to trust divine time and become more patient and compassionate with ourselves when we acknowledge and embrace these rhythms. We have learned to float with the flow rather than resist it, letting the layers of who we are show through when the moment is perfect. Knowing that everything is playing out according to plan in the cosmic dance of life offers us an unwavering sense of security. We come to understand that our dream experiences are an ongoing invitation to an everlasting connection with something bigger than ourselves as a result of this altered viewpoint. This knowledge inspires us to develop regular habits of appreciation and introspection that help us stay focused. We strengthen our spiritual awareness and give our life new meaning and purpose when we give ourselves permission to recall and analyze our dreams. This enhances our capacity to bring about significance and positive for the world around us, as well as for ourselves. All facets of our being are harmonized and fed throughout these peaceful cycles of awake and daydreaming. Knowing that the signals we get are a safe guidance for the future we are meant to create, rather than just a reverberation of the past, gives us a greater feeling of purpose in life. We are reminded of the interconnectedness of all things by this waltz between the sleeping and waking realms, which also invites us to explore life's subtleties and complexity in a profoundly fulfilling and rich manner. Thus, we persist, roused in our dreams and slumbering in our watch, fearlessly traversing the hallowed realm where the human encounters the divine. As a subtle but enduring cry from the soul to regain equilibrium in the midst of the turmoil around us, the path of the chosen always leads us to a rising need for simplicity and isolation. This attraction to peace is not only a fleeting desire, rather, it is a valid manifestation of our spiritual nature, which is ready to harmonize with the universe's cleanest vibrations. A more sincere quest for inner serenity and profound spiritual meaning will inevitably replace the bonds that bind us to consumerism and a preoccupation with achievement on the outside along this trip. Spiritual maturity is shown by this inward transformation, which shows that our priorities are shifting to match what is really important in the vast scheme of everlasting existence. During this period of waking, Jesus' teaching in Matthew, which tells us to store up riches in heaven rather than on earth, resonates deeply in our hearts. This advice serves as a reminder that the genuine enduring worth is found inside, not outside, of our inner life. The times we decide to remove ourselves from the never-ending chatter and distractions of daily life turn into priceless chances to strengthen our bonds with the divine and our higher self. The whispers of our souls, which lead us unmistakably to a higher purpose, are audible during this peaceful descent. We discover a more genuine approach to ourselves and our spiritual journey when we choose loneliness rather than a haven from the outside world. More than just relaxation, these times of reflection provide us a spiritual rejuvenation that fortifies us and makes sense of our place in the world. We often discover our most profound solutions to the problems that plague us and those that motivate us in this place of calm. We may breathe and experience our unconditional connection to something more than ourselves in the isolation we desire, which acts as a bridge to the divine. We are encouraged to make time for this crucial activity, just as Jesus took time out to spend time alone and commune with the Father. These are times of genuine presence and fellowship rather than loneliness. These are chances to disconnect from the socially enforced norms and re-establish a connection with our true selves. We give ourselves permission to refuel and realign with every conscious breath, coming out of it refreshed and prepared to face the world with a heart full of love and peace. Indeed, this path may be difficult, particularly in a culture that prizes transient and superficial things. But when we accept our natural tendencies toward simplicity and loneliness, we start to build a life that is full of meaning and purpose. Understanding that the real wealth lies in mental clarity and heart peace inspires us to be mindful and live each moment with purpose and thankfulness. As a result, we establish a reality in which the steady, fluid voice of the divine inside us leads us rather than the cacophony outside. Seeking loneliness is ultimately a kind of self-love that enables us to recognize our position in the world's intricate and exquisite web of existence and to connect with it more profoundly and substantially. Instead of alienating ourselves, this pursuit of simplicity and isolation helps us achieve a higher level of awareness. We develop a keener awareness of realities that are often obscured by the cacophony of the outer world when we make the decision to spend. Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with the path of the chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. Time alone in silence. We become more open to internal knowledge in this peaceful setting, which enables our intuition to thrive and lead us to make choices that are more in line with who we really are. We discover that there is unmatched beauty in simplicity, a clarity that pierces the needless complexity of existence. We are encouraged to enjoy what life has to offer in its most unadulterated state by this deliberate simplicity. It is a return to the fundamentals, where every experience is thoroughly experienced and every minute is appreciated. We achieve freedom when we let go of the desire to look to other people for approval via material belongings or social standing. We may live honestly in this condition of freedom, based on who we really are, rather than what society expects us to be. We find an endless supply of thankfulness in simplicity, where little actions and commonplace encounters take on meaning and happiness. This shift in viewpoint informs us that when we eliminate excess, we make space for the things that are genuinely important and feed us. We may redefine success in our lives by concentrating on simplicity. For the selected ones, this redefinition represents a shift toward harmony and balance, where spiritual qualities are prioritized above material possessions. Instead of always chasing the next prize or fleeting triumph, we choose to ignore our competitive consciences and find satisfaction in what we already have and who we are. As a result, success is now determined by one's own development and spirituality, rather than by comparison with others. We cherish the trip we take, where we uncover new levels of inner fortitude and love for all people. Thus, this allure to simplicity and loneliness is ultimately a celebration of everything that is really important. This encourages us to live more deliberately, making decisions that show a profound regard and affection for the divine, both within and outside of ourselves. This decision to walk simply and mindfully gives us the assurance that we are solidly grounded in our spiritual reality, despite whatever difficulties life may provide. In the end, we choose a new method of connection that is more profound, meaningful, and genuine rather than loneliness. This introspective, straightforward trip shows us that harmony with the cosmos, other people, and ourselves is the key to real success. We discover a more profound sense of belonging and connection to the universe via the pursuit of simplicity and isolation. We discover that we are not really alone when we deliberately eliminate the turmoil and never-ending demands of the contemporary world. Rather, we discover an inner community of ideas and emotions that have always aspired to be voiced. Additionally, we discover a quiet that is not meaningless, but rather brimming with possibilities. This quiet binds us to everyone who took the same route, everyone who listened to the whisper of the soul instead of the cries of the world. A place where old knowledge resonates with our modern hearts is created by this ongoing practice of simplicity. We are reminded of the timeless principles that form the fabric of our lives in this silence, which serves as a reminder that we are both unique individuals and components of a vast, cohesive whole. We feel a true feeling of regard and respect for life in all its forms when we acknowledge this unit. We realize that the stars, trees, and all other living things around us are animated by the same divine that is inside us. This view inspires us to live with a purpose that respects this oneness, encouraging peace and love in everything that we do. As we delve more into this simplicity, our decisions and deeds reflect our desire to live up to these lofty ideals. Our relationships with people, our purchasing decisions, and the way we show ourselves to the outside world all reflect this mindful style of living. We develop the ability to live honorably, enabling our outside deeds to flow naturally from our within development. Thus, this path of solitude and simplicity is a path to greater freedom and spiritual success rather than a self-pole. With each step we take on this journey, we get closer to a more genuine reality, where serenity is a continual presence we radiate, rather than something we look for outside of ourselves. This changes how we see and engage with the world, which benefits not only our own reality, but also the reality of those around us. We turn into beacons of peace and understanding, demonstrating that true richness lies not in material possessions, but rather in the quality of our love and the depth of our relationships. Therefore, we give ourselves access to a life of purpose and clarity by choosing this lonely and uncomplicated road. We are constantly reminded that who we are, not what we own, is what really defines us. We discover the serenity that surpasses life's situations and obstacles in this area of genuineness. We make the daily decision to live in the presence of this timeless wisdom, acting as beacons of love and light, assisting others on their spiritual paths, and together bringing about a world rooted in harmony and divine purpose. We undergo a metamorphosis that profoundly affects every part of who we are. This metamorphosis teaches us that the spiritual path is more about using the ongoing process of self-discovery and personal development than it is about arriving at a particular destination. We get closer to a more complete and genuine experience with each deliberate moment of reflection and every deliberate decision to keep things simple. When we are in this condition of presence, we see that the simplicity with which we approach the present moment is where actual power resides. We start to depart from outdated norms and expectations that no longer support our lofty goals by creating this calm inner space. We learn to appreciate and value the beauty and wisdom found in the more straightforward and unadorned aspects of everyday life via simplicity. For instance, nature starts to reflect how we have changed. We learn to go through periods of rest and regeneration, just as stations do, and we respect each cycle as an essential component of our spiritual growth. We learn to differentiate between loneliness and being alone by intentionally choosing loneliness. We break free from the bonds of doubt and anxiety when we recognize that loneliness is a creative and restorative option. Being emotionally independent enhances our capacity for more unadulterated, dispassionate love. We create space for more genuine and unconditional love for ourselves and others when we realize that our worth is independent of outside approval. Because of this, we are able to be fully present in our relationships, which enhances our everyday interactions with fluid and unbroken love. The resistance to life's inevitable transitions starts to fade in this flow of simplicity and rekindled connectedness. With the knowledge that we are guided by a higher power, we approach every obstacle as a teaching moment. Throughout the trip, we develop a deeper sense of faith because we know that every step, no matter how challenging, is perfectly in line with our spiritual destiny. Even in the most trying situations, we choose to be joyful in every encounter, and we find serenity when things are unclear. We come to see that our individual growth adds to the awakening of the group as we practice these truths. By embracing simplicity and isolation, every one of us contributes significantly to a network of linked souls that collaborate to elevate human awareness. This amazing flow of love and good energy resonates throughout the cosmos, causing a transformational wave that benefits the earth and all living things. Thus, when we become more isolated and simple, we realize that this leads to a life of genuineness, profound significance, and priceless beauty. We respect the spiritual route we choose because we realize that by doing so, we are inspiring and bringing hope to others in addition to lighting our own road. We pray that this path will constantly lead us, feed our souls, and deepen our relationship with God. A notable improvement in perceptual abilities is often seen by the selected throughout the spiritual awakening process. This opens us to a profound understanding of the subtle energies that surround us and transcends the limits of typical sensory experience. Sometimes, without a word being said, You may sense someone else's vibration of your aura, expressing your feelings and energy. This talent is not a coincidence. Rather, it is an obvious indication that your relationship with God is becoming closer and stronger. It is really a privilege to be able to sense energy fields and comprehend the emotional or spiritual states of people, since it makes our relationships more sincere and compassionate. The indications and symbols that surround us and are often overlooked by individuals who have not yet come to terms with this reality are also covered by this degree of awareness. More than just coincidences, numerical repeats, sometimes laden animal encounters, or reoccurring patterns in our everyday lives are heavenly messages. They act as mentors, validating our spiritual path and clarifying our path during unclear moments. We are asked to be conscious of and interpret these subtle messages that lead us in our direction, just as Gideon sought and received instruction via signs. We get a better awareness of ourselves as well as the capacity to mentor and support others in their spiritual quests as this expanded perspective blossoms. We gain the capacity to provide light and discernment to people who are still seeking their own truths as we increase our awareness of these energies and indicators. We can look beyond appearances and understand meaning, which is often unsaid, thanks to this increased awareness. And by spreading this light, we contribute to illuminating the path for those in our vicinity, establishing an endless network of spiritual development and connection. It is difficult to live with this sensitivity, as it necessitates that we carefully balance our lives. We are continuously absorbing various energies. Thus, in order to continue navigating this energy world with clarity and purpose, we must understand how to safeguard and cleanse our own aura. In order to stay focused and rooted on our path, this understanding motivates us to develop daily alignment and protection techniques like meditation, visualization, and spending time in nature. We are reminded of the inherent interconnection of all things by this voyage of expanded awareness. We come to understand that everything in the cosmos is interrelated, and that every energy we release affects the environment around us. It encourages us to behave in accordance with the compassion and love we want to see in others, and to become more conscious of our own emotional and spiritual states. One deliberate step at a time, we have the power to change not only our own lives, but the world around us by being lights of clarity and serenity. To accept a life full of meaning and purpose is deciding to live with this heightened awareness. Every day presents a fresh chance to develop, learn, and establish ever deeper connections with the holy. We go one step closer to the universal truth that binds us all together with each sign we acknowledge and each energy we appreciate. Therefore, improved energy and signal perception is more than simply a talent. It is a holy path that makes our lives an essential part of the universe's ever-changing motion. Our perception of the environment and our interactions with it are altered by this increased sensitivity. Every encounter and every instant might have deep significance. This pushes us to be more mindful and present in every moment, appreciating the inherent worth in every encounter, regardless of how routine it may seem. At a more intimate level, this understanding challenges us to live a more genuine life that is consistent with our core beliefs. As we experience the energy effects of when anything is out of sync, it becomes instinctive to strive for integrity in our words, ideas, and deeds. We are reminded to realign ourselves with our spiritual mission by these instances of discord. As we learn more about this comprehension, we start to value the insight that may be found in quiet times of reflection. It may be rather difficult to calm down and pay attention to the nuances of our dynamic surroundings in our fast-paced culture. However, it is at these peaceful times that the magic occurs, when we are able to hear the subtle signals from the cosmos and the soft murmur of intuition. We may improve our capacity to detect these valuable signals by setting aside a regular period of time for silence. Furthermore, consistent mindfulness and meditation practice improves our relationship with the divine source, the source of all knowledge and wisdom, in addition to maintaining our inner equilibrium. It's amazing to see how these energies and indicators seem to appear more often and plainly after we start to recognize and respect them. The cosmos is actively interacting with us in this way to reassure us that we are headed in the right direction and that our increased consciousness is creating new opportunities for education and spiritual development. This constant communication with the cosmos inspires us to have faith in our path, to think that every sign has a meaning, and to know that a loving power bigger than ourselves is constantly at our side. This self-assurance gives us the strength and optimism we need to get through even the most trying moments. We recognize that every obstacle we face presents a chance for us to develop and advance, and we get more sympathetic, as well as stronger with every lesson. Being aware of the energies around us helps us to tune this inner compass, which teaches us to see ourselves and other people with compassion and understanding. This ultimately results in a life that is lived with a more open heart, one that is more equipped to offer and accept love in all of its beautiful manifestations. Serving as a spiritual mentor to others is a noble and powerful duty. We sow seeds that may grow in different times and directions by sharing our experiences and the information we gain. The darkness of uncertainty and dread that so many people experience may be dispelled by each of us acting as a beacon of hope and light. The wonderful thing about this job is that it doesn't have to be played out in a spectacular or heroic manner. Often, the greatest impact is made by simple acts of kindness and sincere connections. In summary, this increased awareness of the energies and messages around us is a way of being that changes every part of our existence, not merely a talent we acquire. By accepting this knowledge, we may live with the assurance. Illuminating the path for those in our vicinity, establishing an endless network of spiritual development and connection. It is difficult to live with this sensitivity, as it necessitates that we carefully balance our lives. We are continuously absorbing various energies. Thus, in order to continue navigating this energy world with clarity and purpose, we must understand how to safeguard and cleanse our own aura. In order to stay focused and rooted on our path, this understanding motivates us to develop daily alignment and protection techniques like meditation, visualization, and spending time in nature. We are reminded of the inherent interconnection of all things by this voyage of expanded awareness. We come to understand that everything in the cosmos is interrelated, and that every energy we release affects the environment around us. It encourages us to behave in accordance with the compassion and love we want to see in others, and to become more conscious of our own emotional and spiritual states. One deliberate step at a time, we have the power to change not only our own lives, but the world around us by being lights of clarity and serenity. To accept a life full of meaning and purpose is deciding to live with this heightened awareness. Every day presents a fresh chance to develop, learn, and establish ever deeper connections with the Holy. We go one step closer to the universal truth that binds us all together with each sign we acknowledge and each energy we appreciate. Therefore, improved energy and signal perception is more than simply a talent. It is a holy path that makes our lives an essential part of the universe's ever-changing motion. Our perception of the environment and our interactions with it are altered by this increased sensitivity. Every encounter and every instant might have deep significance. This pushes us to be more mindful and present in every moment, appreciating the inherent worth in every encounter, regardless of how routine it may seem. At a more intimate level, this understanding challenges us to live a more genuine life that is consistent with our core beliefs. As we experience the energy effects of when anything is out of sync, it becomes instinctive to strive for integrity in our words, ideas, and deeds. We are reminded to realign ourselves with our spiritual mission by these instances of discord. As we learn more about this comprehension, we start to value the insight that may be found in quiet times of reflection. It may be rather difficult to calm down and pay attention to the nuances of our dynamic surroundings in our fast-paced culture. However, it is at these peaceful times that the magic occurs, when we are able to hear the subtle signals from the cosmos and the soft murmur of intuition. We may improve our capacity to detect these valuable signals by setting aside a regular period of time for silence. Furthermore, consistent mindfulness and meditation practice improves our relationship with the divine source, the source of all knowledge and wisdom, in addition to maintaining our inner equilibrium. It's amazing to see how these energies and indicators seem to appear more often and plainly after we start to recognize and respect them. The cosmos is actively interacting with us in this way to reassure us that we are headed in the right direction and that our increased consciousness is creating new opportunities for education and spiritual development. This constant communication with the cosmos inspires us to have faith in our path, to think that every sign has a meaning, and to know that a loving power bigger than ourselves is constantly at our side. This self-assurance gives us the strength and optimism we need to get through even the most trying moments. We recognize that every obstacle we face presents a chance for us to develop and advance. And we get more sympathetic, as well as stronger with every lesson. Being aware of the energies around us helps us to tune this inner compass, which teaches us to see ourselves and other people with compassion and understanding. This ultimately results in a life that is lived with a more open heart, one that is more equipped to offer and accept love in all of its beautiful manifestations. Serving as a spiritual mentor to others is a noble and powerful duty. We sow seeds that may grow in different times and directions by sharing our experiences and the information we gain. The darkness of uncertainty and dread that so many people experience may be dispelled by each of us acting as a beacon of hope and light. The wonderful thing about this job is that it doesn't have to be played out in a spectacular or heroic manner. Often, the greatest impact is made by simple acts of kindness and sincere connections. In summary, this increased awareness of the energies and messages around us is a way of being that changes every part of our existence, not merely a talent we acquire. By accepting this knowledge, we may live with the assurance, pushes us to prove the impossible. This confidence motivates us to act with bravery and conviction. Our trust grows, and we become closer to the road that God has planned for us when we listen, and more importantly, follow this intuition. In addition to guiding us in our own lives, this same intuition gives us the chance to have a beneficial impact on others around us. Serving as spiritual leaders allows us to use our intuitive knowledge to motivate others by providing guidance and viewpoints that are grounded on wisdom that goes beyond accepted wisdom. This function of spiritual leadership is not formal. Rather, it arises naturally in everyday contacts, often via apparently unimportant but potentially transforming exchanges. Our words and deeds may provide consolation and guidance to those who are attracted to our intuitive understanding, bringing them nearer to their inner light and purpose. The reciprocity of awareness is what makes this process so beautiful. As we increase our faith in our intuition, we develop a meaningful and purposeful existence that embodies the pleasure and serenity that come from being in harmony with the divine. This condition of being serves as a concrete example for others in addition to influencing our own path. The harmony in our deeds and the calm in our being are seen by others around us, and they are naturally moved to pursue their own spiritual alignment. By doing this, every one of us becomes both a seeker and a catalyst for the awakening of the group. It takes perseverance and commitment to cultivate this sophisticated sense. To deepen this connection, regular spiritual activities like prayer, meditation, and introspection are essential. We can better distinguish the voice of intuition from the many distractions of the outside world when we have a consistent conversation with the divine and our own soul. This ability grows more useful as we hone it, turning it into a dependable and constant presence in our lives. Accepting our uniqueness within the greater spiritual group is also a result of embracing our own intuitive abilities. Every root is distinct, and every intuition manifests itself in a different way. Our development as interconnected spiritual beings depends on our ability to acknowledge and value the differences in others. As a result, we live with humility and an open mind to the many pathways that other people may choose, in addition to having faith in our own. We are all united in our pursuit of truth and enlightenment, and this mutual respect and appreciation of variety enhances our shared experience. Spiritual development is a continuous dance between self-awareness and a closer relationship with God. We get a sensitivity that helps us handle life's subtleties with a grace we may not have previously had, as we become more adept at following our intuition. This inner guidance, which takes the form of intuition, is like a compass that always points in the direction of our actual purpose, a golden thread that binds us to a higher truth. Our hearts and brains eventually get in sync, reacting with a serene knowledge that results from realizing that we are continuously being led by forces that are very real, but often invisible. Increasing faith in intuition also encourages a new lifestyle in which synchronicity and serendipity are accepted as normal aspects of everyday existence. We start to realize that things happen for a reason, and that the individuals we encounter come into our lives for more than just random causes. We can embrace and appreciate life's enigmatic beauty more fully when we have this kind of understanding. After all, every interaction is a chance to share the light that we absorb throughout our own spiritual journeys, in addition to learning new things. We discover that our lives take on a new, more harmonic, and coordinated rhythm when we adopt this intuitive insight. Once difficult or uncertain decisions are now accompanied with a calm clarity and a sense that we are headed in the right direction by trusting our gut. This does not imply that difficulties or doubts no longer exist in our life. Rather, it means that we approach them with fresh eyes and an open heart, realizing that every challenge we face serves as a teaching opportunity for us to advance in our development and comprehension. Increased intuition links us to the divine in ourselves, as well as to other living things and the cosmos. Understanding this interdependence makes us more conscious of our influence and accountable for the decisions we make. This encourages us to live with more compassion as we become aware of how our activities impact the environment we live in and everyone who lives there. Therefore, every decision made based on intuition is an act of love for both the group we are a part of and ourselves. We must have the bravery to be receptive to the unknown in order to develop our intuition. The wonder of living with intuition is accepting that we won't always know the answers ahead of time. Rather, we have faith that those solutions will surface in the appropriate manner and at the appropriate moment. By accepting the mystery of life, we may develop inner calm that is independent of the outside world and is based on the tranquil knowledge that a higher truth is constantly guiding us. As we conclude our analysis of intuition's potent direction, we acknowledge the honor and responsibility of completely embracing it. By showing us that everyone has access to this intuitive wisdom, all we need to do is be open to hearing it. It inspires us to share and lead by example. By creating this shared consciousness, we help create a world in which love, spirituality, and intuition are incorporated into all facets of existence. We accept our intuition as a vocation to inspire a wider awakening and guide each individual back to their divine core and higher purpose, rather than just as a personal gift. We discover that this intuitive talent permeates all part of our life, enhancing our everyday experiences by offering a greater degree of knowledge and connection. Having faith in our intuition inspires us to be ourselves and follow our emotions, even if it means deviating from the norm or expectations of others. Our personal path is strengthened by this truthfulness, which also encourages others around us to appreciate their own truths and pay attention to their inner voices. Our capacity to recognize what is really significant in our life increases as we grow more in touch with our intuition. We are able to make decisions that represent our greatest goals when our values and priorities are more closely aligned with our core convictions. Efforts that were previously squandered on opposition or hesitation become focused on our spiritual and individual objectives. This starts a never-ending cycle of positive manifestation in which we draw more of the same energy into our life by behaving in a way that inspires appreciation and purpose. We are given a fresh perspective on our relationships at this degree of synchronicity. Our interactions with other people become more genuine when we follow our instincts. These days, we listen with our hearts as well as our ears, looking beyond words to pick up on the nuances of shared energies and feelings. We become agents of peace and togetherness among the groups to which we belong because of this depth of knowledge and empathy, which also improves our interpersonal relationships and fortifies ties within the community. When we follow our intuition, we are also receptive to change and ready to adapt as we gain new insights about the world and ourselves. We are urged to welcome change as an ally on our spiritual path and to let go of the constraints and anxieties that hold us back. Although this process might be difficult, it is necessary for personal development and reaching our soul's full potential. We have the confidence to go into the unknown because we know that the supernatural is always watching over and guiding us. In the end, following our intuition entails being in continual communication with the cosmos. We understand that every action has a place in this enormous fabric of life, and that we are all interconnected as pieces of the whole. This viewpoint encourages us to take more deliberate action and give sustainability and balance top priority in all of our dealings. We are reminded that our spiritual path extends beyond achieving personal success to include the peace and well-being of the surrounding communities and environment. A purposeful, peaceful, and loving existence is the result of using intuition as a spiritual guide. We are more eager to share our light with others and more conscious of our place in this planet. We support a larger movement of spiritual awakening by encouraging those around us to connect with their own intuitions. Each of us has a special and important role to play in assisting the planet in remembering its precious nature and its journey toward divine realization as part of this collective awakening. By embracing this purpose, we come to comprehend and celebrate the oneness of all creation, live in accordance with the wisdom and love of the divine, and recognize the divine's ever-present presence in everything.